Jesus is our refuge and strength. This is a short investigation to determine the length of time Adam and Eve spent in the Garden of Eden naked. We have all seen the artwork with Adam and Eve in Eden naked. They are depicted as innocent and happy, but is that the way it was? We might ask how Adam and Eve roamed around naked because the Bible says public nakedness is a shame. Revelation 3:18. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear. We also know that they spent some length of time in Eden naked by this Bible verse, Genesis 3:7. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. Some people think this verse means Adam and Eve were stupid and didn't realize they were naked until they sinned. That's a silly idea because it rewards sin with intelligence. That Bible verse says after Adam and Eve sinned, their eyes were open to the knowledge of sin, and they knew they had sinned. And also they knew they were naked because their clothes had just disappeared. Up until that time, they were not naked. Up until the time of their sin, they were clothed with heavenly robes of light, like angels. When Adam and Eve sinned, things changed. One of those changes was that they lost their heavenly clothing and became naked. They immediately tried to fashion some other type of clothing. They used fig leaves to hide their nakedness. They tried to make clothes which functioned like the clothing which they had just lost. Adam and Eve were not idiots who were stark naked all the time but did not know it. As soon as they became naked, they knew it and reacted to the shame of it. When God came to question them, they hid. They knew they had sinned, and they knew their clothing was inferior to what they originally had. To help them, God showed them how to fashion replacement clothes. Their new clothes were made from animal skins. Yes, they had to sacrifice an animal to have proper clothing. That proper clothing is Jesus. Their sin had caused huge problems. The only way they could be forgiven of their sin was for Jesus to be sacrificed. To regain Eden, we must be clothed with the righteousness of Jesus. So how long were Adam and Eve naked? Very briefly. As soon as their heavenly robes faded, they covered up with fig leaves. Then they upgraded to animal skins. We will have clothing like the angels. Matthew 28:3. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment was white as snow. We shall be like Jesus. We cannot provide a robe of righteousness for ourselves, for the prophet says, all our righteousnesses are as filthy rags. There is nothing in us from which we can clothe the soul, so that its nakedness shall not appear. We are to receive the robe of righteousness woven in the loom of heaven, even the spotless robe of Christ's righteousness. We are to say, He died for me. He bore my soul's disgrace, that in His name I might be an overcomer and be exalted to His throne. Tell of His power. Sing of His matchless love. Wear the robe of righteousness of Jesus. Praise Jesus.